I verified it personally, unsurprisingly because of my connections, and I can state with certainty that the autopsy was indeed conducted. I am cautious not to reveal too much, yet the examination laid bare the crucial findings: the precise entry wound, the exact trajectory of the bullet, and the mechanism by which it ended his life. This is not speculation. It has already been definitively established. The bullet was recovered from his body. Specialists can identify in painstaking detail the location, the severed structures, the path the round traveled from the neck through the torso. Every fragment of that projectile, every piece of evidence, has been analyzed. All findings have been secured, documented, and handed over to the FBI. Authorities know precisely what occurred to Charlie. Let me explain further. We sourced these tumblers with deliberate intent from a man who is, without question, a patriot. And I will tell you this: these are the finest tumblers I have ever encountered. Understand this clearly. Every single purchase is meaningful because 100% of the profit is directed to Charlie Kirk's family. My personal goal has been to raise a full $1 million for them. That is why the campaign continues. That is why we push these products even as every cent goes directly to his family. The vision is to reach that milestone so that a check for $1 million can be written on behalf of all of us, a single unified gesture, and presented to Erika Kirk, who will then decide how best to use it. People must grasp a reality often overlooked. When a public figure passes, their perceived wealth vanishes with them. While alive, Charlie Kirk was successful, visible, and generating income. But in death, that future revenue stream stops abruptly. His television appearances, his show, his books, these are not automatically sustained by sympathy or legacy. This world is cold, opportunistic. His platform will be replaced. Another figure will be elevated for profit. It is harsh, but true. And it is precisely why financial support for his family is indispensable. Charlie Kirk's unrealized potential was immense. He might have authored dozens more books, built even greater institutions, perhaps even pursued the highest office in the land. But now that future has been cut short. Erika Kirk, as resilient as she is not Charlie. No one is. What he could accomplish was unique to him. This is why I feel compelled, why we feel compelled, to mobilize our resources to provide for his wife and family, or to empower her to make donations where she deems appropriate, perhaps even to Turning Point itself. Every order counts. We are nearly caught up with the backlog now. Soon, pre-orders will close, and shipping times will shorten to days instead of weeks. The idea that no autopsy was performed defies reason and precedent. It would be unprecedented in modern American history for a homicide victim not to undergo an autopsy. In every single killing I encountered as a law enforcement officer, the body went to the morgue. A thorough autopsy was mandatory to establish the cause of death. Only in clear cases of natural death, such as a terminally ill patient passing in hospice, or an elderly individual dying without foul play, are families permitted to bypass this process and proceed directly to funeral arrangements. But where there is suspicion, violence, or an assailant, the law requires an autopsy every time. I confirmed it personally, as I said. My police experience already told me it had been done, but after posting my video, I validated it through my own channels. Medical professionals, nurses, and doctors corroborated this publicly. The law is explicit. An autopsy cannot be skipped in a murder case. Evidence for trial must be obtained. Cause of death must be proved beyond assumption. A bullet recovered from a body must be matched to a weapon, and that weapon tied to a suspect. Circumstantial evidence alone cannot convict. Without such proof, reasonable doubt prevails, and murderers walk free. Consider poisoning as an example. A spouse dies suddenly, It looks like a heart attack. Authorities do not simply take the word of the surviving partner, they order an autopsy. If foul play is uncovered, it is exposed there. That is why claims of no autopsy in Charlie's case are not merely false. They are either born of ignorance or deliberate conspiracy. And conspiracies, as experience shows, are profitable. Content creators spin wild theories, naming shadowy culprits, blaming organizations, and their views skyrocket from thousands to hundreds of thousands, even millions. This perverse incentive drives misinformation at the expense of truth, especially for those who actually knew Charlie and worked alongside him. I know these people. I have been in partnership with Turning Point since 2017, nearly a decade. I recognize many faces from that day, including individuals like Frank Turek. I know at least 3 or 4 of the security personnel present. There is simply no scenario in which anyone within Turning Point would wish harm on Charlie Kirk. He was their lifeline, their anchor. His demise undermines everything they built together. It would be career and organizational suicide to conspire in such an act. God may empower Erika to preserve Charlie's legacy, but no one can truly replace him. As for the shot from behind theory, it collapses under the weight of evidence. The autopsy is explicit. Entry and exit wounds have been documented. The path is known. There is no ambiguity, no alternate wound concealed from the public. Yet some persist in rejecting the findings. They accuse the FBI of lying. But what they fail to understand is the structure of the system. The FBI's Washington, D.C. office is not the same as the Salt Lake City field office. The coroner's office is independent of federal agencies. The physician who treated Charlie is not tied to the coroner's office either. These are separate entities. The Salt Lake City FBI division handled the immediate crime scene, putting up tape, collecting evidence, securing the weapon. That is not DC FBI. When evidence is collected, strict procedures govern chain of custody. Each officer or agent signs off under penalty of perjury. Seals are placed on evidence. Transfers are documented. The firearm is test-fired at a lab unconnected to the FBI itself. Every step is recorded in supplementary reports. This is a process designed to withstand legal scrutiny. There are 2 dominant questions circulating. First, how could the rifle be disassembled so quickly? Rob O'Neill, famed for the Bin Laden raid, claimed on television it would take 5 minutes. The FBI has since clarified the rifle was never broken down. Early reports were mistaken. In reality, the weapon remained intact. No marksman would disassemble and reassemble a .30-06 rifle before taking a critical shot. Accuracy and reliability would be destroyed. The official conclusion is consistent: he did not break it down, yet people still push outdated claims because they refuse to dig deeper. And that brings me to why I am speaking now. This is not about sensationalism. This is about protecting the integrity of the trial. I have resisted naming individuals, even when provoked, because I want the focus to remain on substance. But misinformation on this scale can taint a jury pool. Everyone in America has been exposed to fragments of this case. Jurors may arrive with subconscious biases, fueled by online speculation. One holdout juror, swayed by doubt, can derail justice. It is equally nonsensical to demand that Turning Point or other witnesses release evidence publicly. They are under legal obligation not to compromise an active investigation. The FBI already has the content. Releasing it prematurely could make it inadmissible in court. The defense could argue evidence has been tainted, manipulated, or disclosed unfairly before the defense had access. A judge could then strike it from the record, crippling the prosecution. Questions about the bullet's inscription illustrate this. Such markings may hint at motive but do not, in themselves, prove guilt. Prosecutors must be strategic about what is disclosed and when. Some evidence can be released safely, Other evidence must remain sealed until trial to avoid jeopardizing the entire case. When the trial begins, everything, the autopsy report, forensic evidence, the suspect's mental health evaluations, possible indoctrination, witness testimony, will come into the open. Family members, deputies, and even the individual's own father may take the stand. Experts from both sides will testify. Only then, with full transparency, can the public fairly judge what happened. Until that time, speculation is reckless. Conspiracy content generates clicks and revenue but undermines justice. Defense teams monitor social media and may incorporate these narratives into their strategy. Content creators may even find themselves subpoenaed, forced to testify, their reporting scrutinized under cross-examination. This is not theoretical. It has happened before. I myself have been asked to appear in court over a video I produced, though in that case, I testified as an expert witness in defense of officers. But it proves the point. What you publish online can drag you into a courtroom. In my opinion, people must proceed with extreme caution. The stakes are not merely reputational. They are legal. They affect the pursuit of justice for Charlie Kirk, and they affect whether the person responsible for his death is held accountable beyond a reasonable doubt.